Hey everyone, today I've got my freaky movie review. When a serial killer and a teenage girl collide, it turns into a horror version of Freaky Friday. They have less than a day to make the switch before it becomes permanent. Was this movie actually freaky? So as far as the story goes, from Universal and Blumhouse comes a movie directed by Christopher Landon, who has done previous movies that are also in the horror genre, Happy Death Day, as well as the sequel Happy Death Day to You. Within the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie, it reminds me of another horror movie, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I mean, it's just kind of interesting how it's coincidental that there are 2 blondes and 2 brunettes in that one scene alone, but it actually made me jump at one point, and I was shocked it was that soon. I mean, normally things that happen in movies don't happen within, the first 5 minutes, and, you're sort of thinking, okay, where is this all going to go? But it's still being slightly cliche. It gave me classic horror movie vibes as well, when as soon as the prologue is over and the title screen comes on with the music, I knew I was in for quite the wild ride. Some other tidbits that I noticed in this movie was that Blissfield, which is the name of the town in this movie, is kind of an ironic name considering that you might as well call it Haddonfield, which is, and this is also a movie set on Friday the 13th, which invokes this idea that there are definitely several nods to classic horror movies. One of the football players' names I noticed was Strode, like Laurie Strode from Halloween. I just think that in itself is pretty clever, especially if you really pay attention close to this movie. As far as the casting goes, you've got Vince Vaughn, who plays a pretty convincing serial killer. Now, I know him to be more of a comedic actor, but to sort of have the best of both worlds with him in this movie, I feel like I had never seen him take on a role like this, but he is just awesome, and he does crack me up as well when he's playing the teenage girl role. And Kathryn Newton is equally hilarious when she's playing the serial killer role. So when you have these two, polar opposites, and then these are, the types of roles that they're going to take on, I did like the scenes that they did, and I really felt like it fit well, and they definitely adapted in this movie. Now, the 2 friends of the main girl are written as stereotypes, but they work well together in this movie, and I think they definitely add a comedic presence to their role. But Alan Ruck is kind of annoying to me, especially when he plays this teacher who just always seems to have a beef with Kathryn Newton's character, and I don't understand why, and it still kind of frustrates me to this day. The things that I liked about this movie was that the dialogue was predictable, yes, but I did have fun guessing what the characters were going to say in scary situations, because I know I've seen a lot of horror movies, so I sort of know, like, okay, I think this is how it's going to play out, and sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't, which is kind of, the fun thing about this movie, where you're trying to see, is it going to be truly horrifying to watch? And I had to cover my eyes a couple of times, I'll admit, especially during some of those death scenes, which were just a lot to take in. I mean, the kills were quite gruesome, and each one seems to up the ante as the movie progresses, and I did also appreciate the lighthearted moments in this movie, especially the scenes with Kathryn Newton's character and her mom, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I enjoyed watching Happy Death Day to You. But unfortunately, the things that I didn't really like about this movie was that the stereotypical characters in the school, which included obnoxious jocks, snobby mean girls, and rude-ass teachers that purposely embarrass the student, I'm just like, okay, really? Did this have to be a part of the plot? I mean, why can't people just get along these days? But I was definitely feeling more disappointed in the main girl's mom and sister. I mean, come on, you could do a whole lot better, you know, with the way characters are written, because it's really making the whole idea of characters in horror movies being cliche a thing. And I just wanted to see something a little bit different this time around. So overall, I would say that I still enjoyed myself watching this movie. I thought it was a very unique concept, even though we've sort of already seen it happen before, but adding the horror elements to it, I thought, you know, brought it to a whole nother level, and I wasn't really expecting much from this movie, but I really felt like this was probably a really well done horror movie. So I would highly recommend seeing this movie. I think you'll definitely have a lot of fun watching it. So I would give 4.5 hearts on the heart rate scale. So let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Freaky. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates, come back every week for a Child Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I'll see you guys later.